Hello everybody. We have a game with the white pieces against Bolberg, rated 815. Can we get a Rui Lopez? Let's find out. That's a no. He plays c6. There is a pawn here, but my pawn's loose as well. His idea is likely to play d5. I'm going to take his central pawn, and he's going to go queen b6. Not sure about the idea behind this. It's a little bit weird. I'm going to develop my bishop and threaten this f7 point, and he ignores us and targets our f2 point, which makes a lot less sense because we have moves like knight d3, we have moves like castle, and we have moves like bishop takes pawn check to start things off. Now he'll stay in contact with our bishop, so our knight has to defend it. I don't see any good checks that we can include, so let's just castle and defend the f point. Now if he kicks our knight, we can always jettison the bishop for a piece. And that's what he does. He probably thinks he's winning a piece here. Okay, so he can take one or the other, but not both. He takes the knight, but I'm much happier to keep the bishop, and now I can just move it back to a wonderful diagonal that's protected. And I'm up 2 clean pawns and the game is over. I also have a nice easy way to get my queen out. His king is exposed. He has no minor pieces on the king side. He develops his rook and adds a third attacker to the f point. There's no good way to add a defender other than, I guess, with the queen. But it's good enough, so let's just do it. We don't need another answer than this one. This one works, and in 2 moves, we can break this down with our knight. So he breaks it down for us and just retreats the queen. So now there's even less pressure. So in that case, let's just play d3. And we'll open our bishop this way. It supports f4, which is a move we can play in the future. But since his bishop's on this diagonal, let's just contest it. It's his only good piece. I mean, the rook is fine too, but it's never really going to do anything. His bishop's hanging, so he doesn't have time to go for the trap, which he's looking for, which won't work because we create space. And if he takes, we can even take with the pawn, just opening up the f-file for ourselves. We could also just take with the queen, and we can always play f4 at some point. So he defends the bishop with the queen. I'm going to develop my knight towards the center and prepare a4. Which breaks down this structure that he's creating. Also opens up my rook, my bishop, my knight, depending on what he does. If he takes, they all open up. If he pushes, then I get to reroute my knight to a great square. So he puts his knight here, which defends the bishop in a different way, but I'm not going to take his bishop right now. I don't see a reason not to attack this structure. He has to respond because it's hanging. So he responds by hopping his knight in. This doesn't create a threat, allows us to take a pawn, open up our rook. If he takes back, the center hangs, the pawn hangs. And his knight doesn't, gain much in the way of compensation. And our position is compact and protected and very solid, defended. All of our minor pieces are defended by pawns. Our rooks are connected with a nice open file, potential for f4 if we ever want. We're up 3 pawns, which is a huge advantage. And he doesn't know what to do. So he throws a random pawn up the board that hangs. I mean, who am I to deny this guy? I'm going to take it. Queen h5, improve the queen for free, get closer to his king. Now I have this light diagonal. My bishop can maybe check him and inconvenience him. What? He just took a pawn. I'm going to take a piece. What am I missing? This is protected. And even then, that would have been good for me. Yeah, he just hung a piece for no reason. Now I'm up a lot more than before. And Boldberg might resign. Okay, he does not. He takes the pawn. We could take back the pawn, but we're up so much material already. It's wiser to just jump in the center. It's easier. It's more fun. I mean, this does hit the queen. It's a totally awesome move as well. You could have played it. But I'm just going to, I'm up 5 points of material, so I'm just going to hop it in the center. I like this square. It's nice. Okay. He runs to the side. Let's take this bishop. Lure his queen here. The trades are good for us because we're up so much material. And can we get a checkmate? So if we let him take our bishop and we go check, he has to go here. And then we can get the queen at the very least. So we're going to hang the bishop. He goes for it. But now we get our sequence of check here. And we can get the full queen like this. That's also checkmate. Yeah, so forget the rook idea winning the queen. We have checkmate. So that works. Pretty cool checkmate, actually. Look where the king is and look where the queen is. And the rooks never really got to do damage. Okay, we have a 94 game. Pretty decent, pretty perfect. I think we could squeeze another one in. Okay, we have the black pieces against the 1000 Parth. Yes, he goes e4. We get d6 on the board. Now all we need to see is d4. We're off to a good start. He's confused. d6 is perplexing. There we go. Now we develop a knight and attack his pawn. He should defend the pawn. Okay, he pushes, which is one way to defend, but it doesn't work. As we take this pawn, now we can take his queen. He loses castling rights at the least, and at the most, we go knight g4 with a double threat, winning material. He defends the bigger threat, which is the right thing to do, and now we take our free central pawn. He attacks our knight with the bishop. Um, you could probably respond a number of ways, but if we go here and he pins the knight, let's go here. I don't want to take the knight because I don't want to give him the only light square bishop right now. And now if he goes here, I have c6 ready as a response. So my knights are supporting each other, and I got to move the c pawn because if I moved my knight and countered the bishop, he could have taken the c pawn. That's why this construction is what I did. He takes for no reason, letting me off the hook and releasing all the pressure. Now we're still just up a pawn. Now that he put his bishop here and can't go here, maybe we can take the knight and mess up his structure. It's still not really necessary, but it does let us long castle for free with development. So, although you don't have to give up your bishop, I'll show you a game where you do and see what happens. We mess up his pawn structure for an endgame, so we want to get the minor pieces off the board and leave the rooks only, or the kings only, but no minor pieces. So now I get rid of one minor piece. He only has two left, and now we can long castle with check, gaining time. He still moves around with his king, and now we need to develop our last minor piece. We could push one of two pawns, but I think the g6 pawn makes more sense because he has the semi-open file to pressure us. Yes, he does have that here, but there are three pieces in the way. So he gives us this check. We do want our king on c7 anyway, so he's helping us improve our king. We also have the opportunity of pushing these pawns. Do these pawn moves help us? I mean, e6 probably helps because of the pressure on the file. f5 forces him to go back. Yeah, I think they're both. I think all three moves are helpful to our position. So you could choose whichever one makes you feel good. I'm gonna do this because he has to. It's the only one that forces him to retreat, and that's annoying psychologically. Because in that case, he didn't even get a turn. We got f5, and then we go again. So that's very annoying. And then you can see that he has nowhere to go once he's here or here. All the squares are just covered. I wonder what he's thinking about. I mean, maybe he's thinking about countering the knight. That's interesting. Okay, but he just brings it back as anticipated. We could fianchetto and pressure this super long diagonal. Let's do that. We have a great position, and we can try to get this e7 pawn to e4. But at the same I was going to say at the same time we don't really want to move our knight because it dominates the bishop a little bit. And it's not necessary to really move this pawn, so we can just double on the open d file like this. So white resigns, and that's because our position was just crushing. Sometimes it's easy when you go down queen trade lines, if you have the resource knight g5 like I had in this game, you kind of just win automatically. Like here, that's what happened. Once they push too early, if you have the queen trade and then this resource, you win. The position is just, minus 1.2, minus 1.5, and it's game over. So that's why the Pirits is good at low levels because every single one of your opponents is going to push e5 way too early. They're going to do it. I'll move uh, 2. They're going to do it here. They're going to do it on move 3. They're going to do it with the pawn support on move 4. They're going to do it with the knight support on move 5. They're going to do it with the bishop support on move 6. As you get higher and higher, that move will be delayed, e5, but rest assured, it will come in one form or another. And the sooner it comes, the worse it is, generally. And the lower elo you are, the sooner it's going to come. It's just they're just going to push, and it almost always will backfire. So it's a good thing to know when you play the Pirates. That's why I think the Philidor is just better because because when they bring their knight out, you immediately establish that pawn presence on e5, and they can never push e5. But with the Pirates, you really are playing with fire, and f4 is coming, and they are going to play e5, and you better know how to respond because you're going to get crushed lots and lots of times. But over time, you develop an understanding of how to kind of play, how to battle this e5 push. So don't give up, stick with it, and submit your rapid games in my Discord, and I will help you along the way. Good luck in your chess, and goodbye.